At this place in history, we're in Middletown Springs with Steve Perkins, the executive director of the Vermont Historical Society. Steve, this brings us here, but what is that?
Mike, that is the spring for the Middletown Springs. So in a previous episode, we talked about the origin of the name Middletown Springs, and so it's really exciting that there is a reproduction of the original spring house on the spring.
Right.
So we're going to talk to David Wright, who's the president of the Middletown Springs Historical Society.
People used to come over here and sit by the springs. The reason was the hotel across the river. It was called the Montvert. It's kind of a pun on the name Vermont, of course. Built in 1870 by the horsepower magnate A.W. Gray and his two sons. In those days, it was pretty good. You had running water in every room. They also had a dining room that seated 150 people. After about 10 years, with not great success, the Grays sold the hotel to a New York City hotel owner. Already had a substantial hotel, and that made a big difference.
I understand that they added some amenities that the Montfort hadn't had before that. What might some of those
Correct.
have
They put up a carriage barn and had a livery service. So when you were up here, you could rent a horse and a carriage and go out and do some exploring. And you could even sign up for a tour with a guide somewhere somewhat more distant. So one place that they mentioned having gone to was the Devil's Den in Mount Tabor, which is on the side of the Green Mountains, and would be pretty hard to find if you didn't have someone who knew where it was.
How long do people stay?
For the season. The season ran from the beginning of June until the beginning of September. Not very long, but it was probably a good way to get out of the city during the hottest weather. The railroads, however, although they were very helpful at that point in getting them in, actually led to the downfall of the hotel, and it decimated the customer base because the railroads were soon advertising trips to Canada, to the Maine coast, to even out to the Rockies. And it was only 35 years after it was built, 1905, that the hotel was demolished.
But now here we are in this beautiful park.
1969 is when the project was begun. A descendant of the Gray family who had inherited the land and had actually grown up here but gone away and come back as an adult. She and friends here in Middletown Springs got together and created the Historical Society to create a park here, to create the Middle Springs Park.
David, for anyone that might want to learn more about the future of the park, how can they do it?
Well, they can look at the Middletown Springs Historical Society website, mshsvt.org, or they can come to Middletown Springs and visit. They can make an appointment through me, David Wright, and they can also come on Sunday afternoons in the summer when we're open from 2 to 4. Any time of the year you can come and visit the Middle Springs Park. There is signage and history illustrated here.
The economic lifeblood of Middletown Springs at this place in history.